Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as Serbia. We can press a lot of buttons. We should probably invite Greece and Romania to the Belgrade Pact. Romania joins the Belgrade Pact. Together for peace. Invite Greece to the Belgrade Pact. Greece joins the Belgrade Pact. Together for peace. We can select another. We should probably institute a joint command structure. Yeah, seems good. Anyways, welcome. Foundation of the Belgrade Pact: Serbia, Romania, and Greece, the three Balkan members of the Entente, all with revanchist views of their own, have recently gathered to a common table of negotiations and announced the beginning of the Belgrade Pact. While this pact puts a lot of focus on cultural discussion and preserving Balkan identities, it's also a military alliance between the participants, seemingly directed the country separating them and holding their ancestral lands. The new development is a big thorn in the Bulgarian domination of the Balkans, but only the incoming reaction of the other Central Powers can determine whether or not it will yield any fruit. Together against Bulgaria. We did it. We control the Potosi oil fields. Seems unlikely. Seems unlikely. 30 paratroopers. Yeah, no. Let's do some construction. Yeah. Alright, wonderful. Look at us. Our industrial capacity is really not good. It's like really bad. We're gonna have to rely on, you know, our allies, which is never great. Anyways, we're congressing. Indochina's annexed. Indo-Chinese Revolution is defeated, as expected. Construction 1. You'll note that I'm not sending volunteers anywhere. That's because I'm smart and not dumb. Time to disperse our industry. Uh-oh! Albania announces support for Bulgaria. The Albanian government announced today they will support Bulgaria in any future conflicts between the Belgrade Pact and Tsar and Bulgaria, and will joining an international arms embargo to put a dent in their weapons stockpiles in preparation for war. This is not good. German Empire announces support for Bulgaria. Okay, that's also not good. Uh-oh. Electoral deadlock in the United States. Where's the United States headed? And also, Austrian Empire announces support for Bulgaria. That's, again, not super surprising. The Albanians. That's annoying. We can spare an division. Alright. Buttons. We probably want a National Council for Democracy. Serbian democracy may appear prosperous, but walks a fine line between prosperity and military coup. Who's to say the Conspiracy won't remove us from power, much like they removed King Alexander? The National Vese za Democratic will serve as a semi-secret party council to search for ways on how to stem their influence. I think this seems like a necessary evil. Yeah. Cannot be canceled manually. Alright, one last one of these. Bring it on. Alright, more research speed, more division recovery rate. We need the beef. Coup d'etat in Algiers. First step towards democracy. Sure. Spanish Civil War. It was inevitable. At least in this version of the game. Okay. More army divisions. We don't have, shall we say, the world's most robust industrial infrastructure. So our capacity to support large armies is, shall we say, limited. Do we want a defensive expert? I actually think we don't. We probably want a, let's do a morale specialist. We're on the attack, not on the defense. Alright. What? We've bypassed. Okay. The Bulgarians pressed a button. This is the button to, okay, which would reduce their speed. I don't think that does any. I wouldn't have done that. Okay. Okay. We can do the Republican Guard, which gives us less divisional recovery rate, more stability, and less national popular support. We can promote young officers. Okay. I don't know. I need to make this choice now, though. Republican Guard would give us less national popular support on a daily basis. I don't know how much we even need that. I feel like promote young officers is probably what we want. Promote some ideologically competent. While we cannot fully control the Serbian army, there's still a few things we can do to whip it in line. There are plenty of loyal, ideologically complacent lower officer with no ties to the conspiracy and would gladly fill up roles vacated by old generals. Okay. Sweden's joined the Reichspact. Norway's joined the Third International. What are the ones we can remove? I don't know. Who could say? Italian democracy survives. That's unfortunate for us. Failed revolt in Ukraine. Will Ukraine ever know peace? Who could say? Huey Long elected president. Big promises, but can he live up to them? An infantry specialist is probably good. Ooh, equipment capture. Actually, that sounds really good. We'll do infantry specialist, but, that Dragomir guy is a guy who we can maybe remove. Yeah, it is. That's too bad. Okay. We built a weapons factory. Let's build another. Is fortification a good idea? I'll build a pair of forts just to have them. Promote young officers. We can sway Chetnik associations. Ooh, okay. So it grants us... That's strong for 100 days. Hey. Let's sway some Chetnik organizations. Chetniks, organized a paramilitary organization, have historically been no fans of republicanism or democracy. However, even they can be swayed, attracted by promise of support against the intimidating secret society in the Serbian army, and thus made neutral on the whole affair. Hey, we modify Scarred Nation, too. Gain more manpower, gain more war support. Seems strong. That international arms embargo, less than ideal. It is 1937, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some better machine tools. Yucatan was annexed, so it goes. Mine's 37, huh? At some point, I'll need military police. Right now, my mind is not blown by the possibilities presented to me. Okay, more war. Coordination is strong. I think I probably want engineering guy. Because it gives me military capture. Lithuanian government re-elected. What? Federal corporatism? How absurd. Anyways. The Moklek declares war on Tibet. And there we go. You guys go here. You go here. You go here. And then everyone do push-ups. Collins ousted by centrist coalition. In these trying times, the Irish people look inward. Excuse me. Legation cities collapse. China fractures even further. I think. Oh. Oh. The boldness of the conspiracy has not been curbed. We should probably consolidate the Popular Front. Our ongoing war with the conspiracy. Not exactly super ideal. We probably could declare war. Are we in an ideal position to do that? We are not. But we are in a position to do that now. 14 days. Let's consolidate the Popular Front first. From position in the center, we've chosen to throw a lot with the left. Republican and Socialists share several key stances of common belief in the prosperity of the common man and progressive reforms. Let us build Serbia the future together. And then I think we're going to declare war. I just kind of hope that it works. Not an ideal situation, but... Okay. Huh. Assassination of Jasa Protanovic. The first president of the Serbian Republic and one of the most venerated statesmen from the Republican Party, Jakov Jasa Protanovic, has been assassinated today. The sudden despicable act took place in the front of the politician's home in Belgrade, which several armed agents suddenly forced themselves into and executed their victim without remorse, reported by the politician's son, Borislav, who happened to come by to visit a few hours later. Elected in 1926, Protanovic consolidated the gains of the Republican Revolution, pursued a vast reform in order to establish what he perceived to be a compassionate democratic nation. His career, both in political and literary affairs, preceded him for decades before the Revolution, too. He served in ministerial positions as early as before the Welt Creek. However, staunchly opposed to militarism and authoritarianism, he came to conflict with the Conspiracy secret society, and ultimately chose not to seek re-election. Because of this, and his later support for the anti-Conspiracy endeavors, rumors abound that it was they who signed off on his life. The officers and generals in their lodges and circles understandably feel threatened. As omnipotent as their control over Serbia may feel, sometimes the network has always been fragile. And now, we have chosen to resist their influence openly. They've given us a warning, a line they've drawn in the sand with Protanovic's blood. If you take one step further, others will suffer the same. Or perhaps that's only what they want us to think. The investigation of the assassination begins, and before the military kills it, we may have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to cut the sword of Damocles above us. Understood. All right. we can now press some of these buttons. Yep. Fallout of the assassination. Alright. We can do some stuff. Manufacture evidence. Unlikely alliance with the monarchists. Search Protonovic's home. Standoff in America. The open conflict is inconvenient. Search Protonovic's home. The assailants who assassinated Protonovic did not magically teleport into his home. They must have found a way to get in. And after getting in, leave clues we can investigate. The assassination, while seeming professional at first glance, was actually surprisingly hasty. The assailants left fingerprints and dropped things as they fled, but can now track their likely owners. Hopefully that works. We've consolidated the Popular Front. That's convenient. We should probably leave the Warholtz free trade area. Our post-war economic agreements with the Austrian Empire bound us to the economic bloc, strangling our buddy economy and industry. These agreements need to go, and the country must again trade with the rest of the world fairly. We are about to declare war. We probably want to, you know, do an unlikely alliance with the monarchists, and then manufacture evidence. All right. Question available witnesses. The neighborhoods of Belgrade where the assassination... let's see. Manufacture evidence. Who cares if our investigation sometimes leads towards unwanted suspects? Let's simply manufacture proof of an army plot to overthrow the government. And this plot, starting with the assassination of an honorable politician, we can even bring a loyal colonel to testify before the court that they were pressured to join a coup, an attempt they didn't want to take part in. Unlikely alliance with the monarchists. The underground monarchists movement is of no friends to us. They despise the conspiracy even more. And even so, we may find a use for them, extracting valuable intelligence for their contacts within the white-hand circles, using them to compromise the position of the leading Serbian army clique. The neighborhood of Belgrade where the assassination took place is a quiet place. The people living there will surely have something to say, and since they live next to the former president, they must have kept an eye on him. Did anyone see or hear Protonovic being visited by anyone with the assassination? Are any strange men observing the neighborhood? Have they heard anything from their neighbor about the people whom he might have been worried about or concerned with or spoken to in general? Did they have any suspicions themselves? Anyways. Conscription crisis in Quebec. I mean, our popularity of national populism is not high. We should probably grab the coordination specialist, and once we are done questioning available witnesses, Second American Civil War, destiny of America is at stake. We can shift blame. And then get to the Krumpen. 10th International Congress. Interesting. French Republic declared war on the Wide-Eye Empire. Okay. Alright. And it's time to cross the Great Moldova. I don't know. Do we want to form the military council first? We maybe want to form the military council first. I don't know if we need anything more than this. I think we can just shift blame onto the Conspiracy, but, like, prioritize suspects in the army. Our investigation brings us towards the Serbian army and the Conspiracy organization in particular. We cannot challenge them just yet. What we can start doing is taking officers in for questioning, extracting any information, comparing their alibi to the information we do know about the assassination events which happened on that day. We can start comparing fingerprint profiles and start suddenly bringing up little tidbits of facts we gathered from witnesses or items which happen to have dropped from the right pockets after Protonovic's death and the hasty escape. And then we can get them to slip up. Spread rumors. Before we can bring the case to court, must bend the will of the people to our side. Results are bound to be political greatly. The Conspiracy holds unprecedented power in our government and society, But even they will not be able to resist the power of an angered population demanding justice. Surely they will not risk a second revolution, one which is beyond their control. I mean, we have the political power, so we'll press that button, I suppose. Don't need this. Don't need that. That's funny. The Navy. It's been assigned to the Army carrying. Well, we don't have access to boats, so... Aid from Russia? The Russian Foreign Ministry has come to us with an offer of economic military aid, citing the long-standing friendship between our countries and the need to stand united against German domination in Europe. What should we say in response? Why? Of course! Why is joining the Entente? Austria-Hungary? Interessante. Crisis on the Danube. The stability of Central Europe has been threatened, hasn't it? We're not exactly friends with Hungarians, though, are we? Disperse our industry. Syndicalist revolutionaries in Switzerland. That's probably good for us. Once we're done with this, time to shift blame onto the conspiracy. Clipping the wings of the hawk. Locked away in their lodges and secret discussion groups, the Kaiserreich and the rest of the Serbian militarist lobby probably assume the whims of the civilian government are little to worry about. They owe the Republic to the efforts of the nationalist-minded conspiracy, and they would not dare to make any more show of force against them. They ended up paying for their overconfidence. With each passing day, more and more evidence of the army's hand in the assassination of Protonovic came to light, all of which, coupled with some clever propaganda and the opinion swaying here and there, turned the populace against the military. The nation united itself in a cry for justice, not just for Protonovic, but for hundreds of others who have been disappeared, executed, or crippled by the iron hand of the military. This is no longer 1903, and a Orange coup d'etat would not work. Hence, the conspiracy accepted its defeat. One by the other, resignations came in from the army and bureaucracy of officers and politicians who have been revealed to be complicit in the conspiracy, and see no other option but to step away. While it might only be a temporary victory, it's the first real one achieved against the conspiracy. Liberty survives another day. National focus canceled, because of course it is. Time for a national mobilization, then. More soldiers, more good. Alright. We are rapidly approaching the we need to fight Bulgaria sooner rather than later. And with that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.